This is Privacy on the Ground, where privacy meets real life. Hello, listeners. I hope you've been enjoying the latest series from the Privacy on the Ground podcast. We've been digging deep into AI governance tools, not just the procedures, assessment frameworks, and other tools for governing AI themselves, but deeper into how those AI governance tools are used. We've shared how Chile's Social Security and Health Agency used the country's template for procuring AI systems and discussed the nuances of the measurements required by that AI governance tool. Often these tools are used by government agencies and other organizations implementing AI. But in the case of the AI governance tool from Canada that we featured in this series, the country's algorithmic impact assessment, the tool is used by other stakeholders too. My talk in our previous episode with Will Tao, a lawyer who uses those assessments to understand how Canada's immigration agency uses automated systems, explores the use of the AIA by an unexpected group of end users. So this brings me to what I'll share with you today, a different way of analyzing the use of these AI governance tools. I'm Kate Kaye, Deputy Director of World Privacy Forum. You know, I do most of my work for WPF where I live in Portland, Oregon. But we aim for our work to recognize and address perspectives and policies from people around the world. So we travel too. I visited the Netherlands in late June and early July, where one of my stops was in Eindhoven, in the south of the country, home to the Eindhoven University of Technology and its fourth European workshop on AI fairness. A paper I authored, one closely related to the work highlighted in our AI governance tools series of this podcast, was accepted at this year's workshop, and I had the pleasure of presenting some highlights to workshop participants. Participating at EWOF gave me an opportunity to explore and analyze our ongoing work on AI governance tools from a new perspective. Through the research I presented there, I was able to step back and evaluate the real-world use of AI governance tools and articulate potential areas of refinement. So, to cap off our AI Governance Tools podcast series, I thought I'd share a bit about what's in the paper and, more important, the key conclusion of the research. Okay. I'll start with a little refresher. What are AI governance tools? These tools are what are used to implement AI governance policies and principles. They're the tools that put AI governance policy into practice. In WPF's 2023 report about AI governance tools from around the world, Risky Analysis, we defined AI governance tools as, quote, socio-technical tools for mapping, measuring, or managing AI systems and their risks in a manner that operationalizes or implements trustworthy AI. For that report, I also developed a lexicon of these tools to help articulate the forms that they take, from practical guidance and self-assessment questionnaires like Canada's Algorithmic Impact Assessment, to technical code and software, such as what we see from Singapore's growing catalog of AI governance tools, AI Verify. So, my paper looks at how 3 specific tools have been used. You guessed it. I looked at use of Canada's Algorithmic Impact Assessment and Chile's standard bidding terms for data science and AI projects. Those are the tools discussed in the previous episodes of this series. And I also analyzed use of Singapore's AI Verify. AI Verify is essentially a growing collection of tools, what the WPF lexicon calls a catalog. Things like practical guidance, software tools like plugins that measure fairness and explainability. And more recently, AI Verify has developed approaches for assessing generative AI and agentic AI, such as recommendations for generative AI benchmarks. So with this research, I wanted to get a better handle on emerging patterns in usage of the tools. What was use of these tools showing us? Were there common themes emerging? Yes, there were. I defined 4 categories of those emerging patterns, or commonalities. For example, one category related to the metrics recommended or required by the tools, and how those measurements were interpreted by tool users. Chile's use case offers a strong example of what I'm talking about. As discussed in detail in an earlier episode featuring my interview with Mariana Herman, Chile's Social Security and Health Agency aimed to use a machine learning model to speed up decisions about workers' medical claims. And according to the governance tool, the country's template for procuring AI systems, auditors evaluated fairness, bias, and equity using metrics, including statistical parity difference and disparate impact ratio. Those measurements indicated some minor likelihood or risk of inaccurate or biased model decisions. But, and this is an important but, not everyone inside the agency agreed on how to interpret those measurements. Some said the results proved the model should be deployed to entirely automate the claims decision process, but others, including Rodrigo Moya, the project manager featured in our first episode about Chile's use case, believed that because the measurement found some risk of bias, the model should only be used to inform or support medical claims decisions made by human experts, such as medical doctors. So here we have an example of how real-world use uncovers possible ways to refine these AI governance tools. Could Chile's AI procurement template address fairness measurement interpretation more directly? Use of these AI governance tools also revealed another area of commonality related to the end users of these tools and their expertise, interests, and motivations for using them. Use of Canada's Algorithmic Impact Assessment offers a great example, and it helps expose areas for possible refinement of the tool to meet the needs of end users who may not have been considered when the tool was first designed. So, we know that Canada's AIA, an assessment questionnaire, is intended to be applied by government agencies to gauge risk impact levels of the algorithmic systems they are building or want to use. But as highlighted in our previous episode, featuring my interview with Will Tao, an immigration lawyer in Canada, the government agencies are not the only end users of the AIA. Lawyers like him are too. They use the AIAs to learn about the automated systems that make decisions affecting their clients, They use the AIAs to help educate those clients, to help educate the court about those automated systems, and as exhibits to affidavits. In my paper, I discuss these and other emerging trends in AI governance tool use in far more detail. So, what does this research show us? As I noted in the paper, which has been published in the Proceedings of Machine Learning Research, actual use of AI governance tools can uncover important ways to make them better. At World Privacy Forum, our ongoing research on AI governance tools shows the need for adequate evaluation and assessment of these tools and the measurements and metrics inside them before they're made widely available. But in some cases, it may be worthwhile and even necessary to put the tool to use in order to begin to articulate its more elusive shortcomings. As I state in the paper, truly beneficial refinement and improvement of AI governance tools may require real-world use outside the policy laboratory. Ultimately, all the work invested in designing and implementing AI governance tools to evaluate the impacts of AI systems could be for naught if the tools themselves do not assess and measure as intended. My analysis does more than reaffirm the need for continuous evaluation of AI governance tools throughout their life cycles, both before and after deployment. It also suggests that in some cases, that AI governance tool lifecycle might include a limited and methodologically observed pilot, perhaps an applied demonstration stage intended to glean relevant real-world assessment criteria. We're still learning what it takes to effectively govern AI. But just observing policy proceedings or poring over legal documents is not enough. We need to watch what's happening in real-world scenarios, and our work at WPF does that. With that in mind, we're always interested in talking to people who are actually using AI governance tools, particularly tools from governments and NGOs, and particularly from regions of the world that don't get enough attention. If you want to share an idea for future AI governance tools research, I hope you'll reach out to me. Again, my name is Kate Kaye. You can look for me on LinkedIn and on Blue Sky, or email me at kate@worldprivacyforum.org. If you'd like to read the paper discussed here, you can find it at 2025.ewaf.org and in the Proceedings of Machine Learning Research at proceedings.mlr.press. The full title of the paper is Uncovering Areas of AI Governance Tools Refinement Through Real-World Use Case Analysis from Canada, Chile, and Singapore. Yes, it's a mouthful. One last thing. If you've found value in our recent series on AI governance tools, I hope you'll subscribe to Privacy on the Ground if you haven't already. And please share it with others who might also appreciate it. Stay tuned, and thanks so much for listening.